Recently, if you've been wondering what's been happening in the UK, the neighborhoods are being infiltrated by devotee children, going door to door. This was last week when we were approaching doors, and we discovered and rediscovered the secret of book distribution while going door to door, or any other place for that matter. Do you know what it is? It's the two words, both start with M, and things you do 16 rounds of every day. Maha Mantra. You have to keep the vibration going, because we're instruments, and when we go out to distribute books, we're just acting as a tool in Krishna's hand. And the way to remember that constantly and be connected to the internal energy is to chant Hare Krishna. These are some photographs from Watford. You see the young woman there who told us very triumphantly that she comes once in a while to the temple, the manor, and she took a book, and I didn't insist that she gave a donation, but she came back and found us later and gave a donation because she was delighted by the whole exchange, and she was just a nice person, as you can probably see from her demeanor. Here's the group of us at Watford. Say Haribol. Haribol! Can't have more fun than that. Here's the kids meeting people, pets, and distributing stacks of books, going door to door. It's really nice for kids because they can see how the energies of the Lord are working in the world. They'll see behind every door the modes of material nature and their various combinations and permutations. And they learn how to talk to people. And look how happy that guy looks. That woman came out because she saw all of us standing. There's a lot more of devotees standing behind the pictures. One of the kids had a box of cookies that he was giving out after each person would take a book. And then she looked out the window and saw the box, and she came out with a big handful of candy and put it in there because thought maybe we're collecting candy door to door. And she ended up taking a stack of books, very friendly woman from the Philippines. And here we are sharing the experiences we all had when we were at Watford. And why am I going backwards? This is a sharing session afterwards also. The Kirtan kept a transcendental bubble around this at Watford, all the distributors. And we could tell when they stopped, because they came over to share their realizations also. And as soon as they stopped, we could tell the difference. It's palpable. And when we have these Sankirtan festivals, you have devotees who do Harinam and then book distribution together. There's a table, there's prasadam. And it's a very festive atmosphere. And you feel very protected by being in the vicinity of the holy name or being enveloped by the holy name. Well, these are more of the same. Just giving you an idea. So, in the 7 purposes of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada has strategically placed number 7. And you'll notice that he said, by distributing books, periodicals, literatures of various kinds, we'll fulfill the aforementioned 6 of the purposes of ISKCON, which gives an idea of the positioning of literature distribution as a kind of a tip of the spear, a way in which we can uplift all programs and the consciousness of all who participate. And Prabhupada obviously gave many instructions. This is one of the chief ones in 1975, during which he asked for the Chaitanya Charitamrita to be printed in 2 months, when the devotees wanted to do it in 12. And at that time, he had called all the leaders of the movement and made a public declaration, and that's it. So here's a look at our Sampradaya. Incidentally, the word Sampradaya means the complete gift. And there are many gifts one can give, but the best gift of all is the gift of giving people access to the Guru Parampara, which we heard today takes us back home, back to Godhead. So we'll just do a little exercise here for fun, and edification, we'll notice that this is a picture of Lord Brahma. What year do you think this was? Circa what? 0? And do you find anything anachronistic about the picture? The book? What's wrong with having a book at the beginning of creation? Because there were no copy shops at that time. And nobody to distribute them to. I like the way you think. Well, actually it's because we're known as the Sampradaya of the book. We're for education. Shall I prove it? Say, prove it. Vaisheshika. Okay, here we go. Who's this? What's he doing there? A what? A book. Just use the word book. Book. Writing a? Who is that? What is he holding there and referring to? A? Very good. Who's this? And what's he kneeling before? Correct. Who's that? Incidentally, just thought I'd bring it up, but what's he writing there? Correct. Who's that? What are they famous for? Books. Oh, there's Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What's he posing with there? Correct. How about, who's that? I just noticed this in the picture, but if you look really careful, there's something behind him. What do you think it is? How about, who's that? Now this is uncanny, but I'm noticing it again. Who's he? What's he posing with? Very good. You scored 160 on the SAT. Give yourselves a hand. Okay. So, books are containers. And what do they hold? They hold idea seeds. And when those idea seeds go out into the world, they land on various mediums. And they grow. And we may notice that there are many ideas embedded in people's minds and hearts. And there are movements that have started because of books. This is still the best-selling book per capita of any other book in history, called Common Sense. And, I mean, I hate to bring it up while I'm here in the UK, but according to historians, this book, which is very well written, was distributed widely in the colonies, and it is what galvanized people to come forward for the American Revolution. And how about Origin of the Species? Who has a copy with you now? Anybody have one at home? Murisaki, you don't have one at home? Has anybody read it? One person? Two people? Has anybody here heard of evolution? Yeah, why have you heard of it? Because somebody wrote a book. Although we don't have it, the idea seeds spilled out, and it became a well-known and widely accepted theory because it was written in a book. People respect books. When there are ideas in books, books are beloved in human society. People revere them, and if somebody takes the trouble to put a book together and organize thoughts, put in a bound form or electronic, then people respect it and they read it. It gets passed around, the ideas that get embedded in society. So it's actually a good idea to inculcate various philosophies into wide sections of society and perhaps even the whole world by distribution of books. It's not a sentimental process, it's extremely practical. We began, of course, as early as recorded human history, there have been writings on various surfaces, shells, sometimes walls. Then when in India people started using these leaves, and they would use a stylus to impress upon them and then put them out in the sun. Painstakingly, they would write and put together books on palm leaves. And then, of course, and this isn't the original printing presses. The original first printing press is called the Gutenberg printing press, and it was put together by a fellow named Gutenberg who wanted to accelerate the distribution, the printing and distribution of Bibles. After him, the Royal Bible Society then advanced the technology even more, and Bibles started going out at a much higher rate. This happens to be a picture of the first printing press purchased by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who got in on the technological revolution of printing. And he had it shipped from Cleveland, Ohio in America. In fact, he had a few of them shipped from Cleveland, Ohio in America, and he used them there in Calcutta and purportedly kept them going constantly in printing literatures and books of various kinds. And Prabhupada imbibed the spirit of the sampradaya of the book from his spiritual master, and he pointed it out to us in many ways, in lectures and letters, and in his own books. He writes about the importance of literature distribution. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about some principles that will save you a lot of time and energy and will make book distribution fun and easy. Say yay! Yay! And first, please repeat after me. Book distribution, is fun and easy. There you have it. So this is called the ripe fruit principle. And when you go to pick fruits, you test them and see which ones are ripe. I would have preferred a picture of avocados, but you get what you get. I can tell an avocado, because I eat avocados every day, from across the room whether it's ripe or not. But if you actually touch it, you feel it, you can tell if it's just right, if it's underripe, if it's overripe. You can tell, right? Any of you here eat fruit? Any fruit fans? A couple of you? So picking ripe fruits is common sense, right? So in the same way, when we go out for book distribution, we want to look for the ripe fruits. I call this the ripe fruit principle. I'm going to save you a lot of trouble in your life. Any consternation you have about the process of book distribution, it'll be out today. It'll be gone forever. Should I keep going? Yes. All right. Okay, so here's how it works. The ripe fruit scale, you can see there. That's comprehensible, right? Yes? Yes. Okay, now here's how it works with people. There's a scale of 1 to 9, 10 so high they already went back to Godhead, so I didn't put it on there. When we go out to distribute books, or we go in to distribute books, or wherever, what we're looking for is the right fruits. What are we looking for? Right fruit. And if you walk out of here today and somebody says, what was that guy talking about in there? You'll say? Right fruit. Yeah, the ripe fruit principle. So, as an example, if I were to be looking at Divyanand Prabhu walking down the street and I didn't know him, he would walk down the street. Stop smiling though. And see, I waved at him, he didn't even look at me. Where do you think he is on the scale there? 0. Come on, give him a break. No, he wasn't mean. He was more like a 4. He was kind of like this. But if you wave to somebody and they give a little, he can't stop smiling. You go back over there. If you wave to somebody, you make eye contact with them, and they're around a 5, it's kind of like, it's a smile with no teeth. Try it. They're all special. They're amazing. Every single one of them. So if you develop this vision and you see how special people are, and you just approach them with that mood, then they'll resonate with you. You pick the right fruit, make them feel special. Okay. Oh, look at that. You can see something's going on there. He's saying something to him, make him feel special. Now, why ask for donations, you might ask? Somebody might ask, right? When we give people an opportunity to reciprocate, the relationship deepens between us and them, and also between them and the literature that they receive. And Srila Prabhupada asked us to do it, and he told a story about a boy who had the best mangoes in Bengal, and he went door to door to distribute them for free, and people wouldn't take them. And then he went to a wise merchant nearby, and he told him what he was doing. He said, "Oh no, you have to charge a high amount for these." And as soon as he went back and asked a lot for the mangoes, people wanted them, and they became an item that was in demand. And so Prabhupada wanted us to create value for the books. So when we ask people for donations, the idea is it's for them, it's not for us. And as an example, just in Nottingham the other day, I would just tell people at the end that we don't need the money. The only reason we ask is that it's an ancient tradition. When you give something in return for spiritual knowledge, it connects you to the previous teachers who have passed it down over many generations. And when you put it like that, very straightforwardly, people are very happy to help. And we have all this on our website too, if you need any of this information later. Honor objections. This is the next principle. When people give an objection, we honor it. For instance, if we hand somebody a book and they say, "Oh, I'm a Buddhist," then you don't say, no, this is for Buddhists, because whatever you resist persists. So if someone were to say to me, "Oh, I'm a Buddhist," I would say, "I'm very sorry, I'll take it back, and here, I'll give you this one." And I give them a different one that is more suitable for Buddhists. And you'll find that if you go along with what people say, when they give an objection, then the objection diminishes. And if you can predict what their objection is going to be ahead of time, and you honor it before they make the objection, all the better. And I'll give you an example. How are we doing with time? Okay. With Indians. Does anybody here know anybody who's Indian? Okay. When I approached several Indians at Nottingham this time, and they all gave donations. But it wasn't because I handed them a Bhagavad Gita. It was because I didn't hand them a Bhagavad Gita. That's why they gave the donation. So I already know what their objection is before I hand them the Bhagavad Gita. I know the Bhagavad Gita. My mother reads Bhagavad Gita, and my grandmother memorized the Bhagavad Gita. So I just say that to them first before I hand them the book. Say, "This is not for you, because you know the Bhagavad Gita. Your mother reads Bhagavad Gita, and your grandmother memorized Bhagavad Gita." They don't know what to say, because I just honored their objections before they made them. And then I let them know that we're printing Bhagavad Gitas, and I say, as you know better than I, the Bhagavad Gita is a solution to the world's problems. And now we're printing it in many languages around the world. And today we're doing a fundraiser, and we're collecting money. And then they're very happy to give. And then after that, I hand them many books, including the Bhagavad Gita, and they're happy to take it. So if you anticipate objections, you double your score now. If you anticipate the objections, or you honor them as soon as you get them and go along with what they're saying and accommodate their objection, then you'll move smoothly through your life. And now, an announcement that we're beginning the Bhadra campaign again. And I'm going to ask Tivyanam Prabhu to tell you more about Bhadra.
Thank you, Maharaj. So Bhadra campaign has actually developed from this beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 12th canto, 13th chapter, 13th verse, it's right there, that if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, if you place Bhagavatam on the golden throne and give it as a gift to someone, just by doing that activity or gifting, you go back to Godhead. You go back to the transcendental destination, which means no death, no old age, no birth, no disease, no moving of houses, because that's the fifth problem if anybody does that. that's Bhadra campaign. I think it was 2017, right, Marsh? That the group of devotees gathered together in North America and they were brainstorming that how can we increase the distribution of Bhagavatam sets. It's not that it hasn't happened before. It certainly did in the times of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. There were Bhagavatam sets going. But it wasn't in a way of organizing and putting a whole global team together to make this an effort where everybody can take part and everybody can play a role. So this was certainly acts as an inspiration for now for the whole of ISKCON movement, as every year we take part in this wonderful opportunity and give a chance for people to take part in Bhadra campaign. So these are just some stats over the last sort of few years. As you can see, I think 2018 was the first year when we initiated after the idea came. And we did similar numbers in the first 2 years. And then just before 2020, do you remember what happened in that year? COVID hit. So I'm not sure if you're finding it surprising because from 7,000 we were aiming to get to 10,000, that was our goal, but we went to 2020. And that was done mostly through online book distribution. I remember here in UK at Bhaktivedanta Manor, we had a group of devotees, which Dinanath Gauranga Prabhu, Vijay Karame, a few devotees got together, Mohi Radha Mataji and a few devotees, and they trained, they worked with the children, and the children presented the Bhagavatam to many, many people online. Because everybody had a time, they were all sitting at home actually. So everyone jumped onto the Zoom calls, Skype, and then we did the presentation. And as a result, from 7,000 we went straight to nearly 25,000 Bhagavatam sets actually. And every year we have grown. Obviously last 2023 we went back slightly, only to go back forward this year. And more importantly also into 2024 I think would be yes. No, this is for the Europe. So this is our Europe progress. We've been steadily growing, and I think we took a little bit of a dip in 2024. And this year we are hoping to be able to come and increase our book distribution by 20%, because next year is a big year for whole worldwide campaign, where we are looking to distribute. It should come up
further forward, near the end.
There we go. So for 2026, we want to distribute how many sets? 508,000 sets. That's right. So let me just check. So this year, our theme of the Bhadra campaign is we are asking everybody to advocate and to grow in capacity. So wherever we work, we try and incrementally improve by at least 20%. That's what we ask. And that's for everybody in the UK, at least the temple president and the Sankirtan leaders, when we came together recently, we signed up that we will look to increase in our capacity by at least 20%. And what we ask is an advocacy. So every year, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu does a presentation in Mayapur to GBC at ILS. And his message is simply to request the leaders, the temple president, the GBC, all they have to say is when they go back into their community, that book distribution is a great idea, Bhagavatam distribution is a great idea. And like this morning, I don't know if you, I'm sure all of you were, how many of you were there in Vibhuva Guru's class? How many of you are feeling inspired to do something for Srila Prabhupada here in UK? I mean, what a wonderful class it was. And it was full of mission, full of the spirit, and that's the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, rightly presented by Kripamaya Prabhu. So we really request, like how Kripamaya Prabhu, Mother Vishakha, and all the leaders are already advocating for this cause, that please, as you go back into the communities, just say, encourage the community and the devotees. We have some great leaders. We have, I can see Arvind Krishna Prabhu, we have Maneshwari Mataji, so many other leaders from various other centers. We have devotees from Kent and many other places actually. So yeah, we want to also grow. If there is a town where you're not part of this initiative, then just see us, and we will help you provide resources. We will give you the presentations which you can use to present Srimad Bhagavatam to others. So I guess I've already covered these elements. So GBC, Temple President, Zonal Supervisor, and all of you, anybody who cares to be part of this wonderful initiative. So growing in capacity, I think we already talked about that. Every year, in order to grow, all we have to do is organize ourselves. And the more organized we are, the better our chances are in terms of growing the capacity. For example, making sure there are people from various backgrounds who may need a preferred language. So So we always make sure that we have that languages available of Srimad Bhagavatam here in UK. So we fly them from India because they are not printed in Europe, but we make sure that those languages are available. So this year, Mathura Kripa Prabhu and myself, we got together and we looked at the various languages we need. We have placed a big number of sets order from India, which will be shipping soon. So it will be here in 6 weeks' time, which does give us enough opportunity actually. And then making sure we have the resources available, presentations, and inspiration and the leaders and the classes, like organizing Bhagavad Katha events and things like that throughout the year. So these are some of the ways in which we can measure our capacity. As I said, community participation, streamlining the payment acceptance, so making sure one good thing happened this year for us at Manor, and I'm sure it will be the same for Soho and all the other temples. Earlier we used to have card machines we needed to use with our mobile phones, apart from iPhone, where if you have an iPhone model, is it 12 and plus, right? Yeah, so you don't need a card machine. But now even on Android, you don't need a card machine. So if you have any Android phone which you took in last sort of 12, 14 months, you can directly take the payment. You just need the login details from your local temple and you can take the payment directly. So all these things help keeping, the ways and various ways of distributing Bhagavatam, like on the street, door to door, going out with the kids, having presentations at the temples. All these things help growing our capacity. So this is our goal for 2026. But in order to get there, we need to make a start this year. So Prabhupada said, by fully concentrating on distribution of the books for Krishna, one is fully absorbed in the Samadhi. So these are the Prabhupada's words from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.37. And one of the other things which Srila Prabhupada has said, that every respectable person should have a set of Bhagavatam in their home and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So what we wanted to do, you must be wondering, Divinam always comes up with something. So there is a box here. I'm not going to ask you to put your money in here, don't worry, or take your cards today. But what we do ask, I have some questions actually before I ask you to do anything. And I've written them down just so that I don't kind of forget, because we are in Kali Yuga, Mandasumanda Madhyo. Okay, first one, I want to ask all of you, and the answer is yes and no. It's very simple. Did Srimad Bhagavatam change the perspective for Parikshit Maharaj when he had 7 days to live?
Yes.
That wasn't a resounding yes.
Yes. Yes.
Did Srila Prabhupada work day and night to transcribe Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes.
Did Srimad Bhagavatam help in spreading Krishna consciousness in the Western world?
Yes.
Did Srimad Bhagavatam change your life?
Yes.
Do you want to change others' life by giving them Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes.
Okay, that was the same amount of yes, which is great. I'm very happy with that. So that brings me to my next point. That Srila Prabhupada, I remember a story Amita Prabhu in UK shared with us when we met him. And he was telling us that when Srila Prabhupada went to US and he went into a shop and he asked the lady that, would you please display a set of Bhagavatam? I think at the time had about 4 or 5 cantos had come out. And the lady said, no, I don't want to do it. And Srila Prabhupada just sat there for a few minutes, had some water, started a conversation. And by the time the conversation ended, the lady was very happy and she decided to keep the Bhagavatam set there. So I always think that Srila Prabhupada took so much on him to not only travel from Vrindavan to Chippiwara or Chandni Chowk, do the editing, do the writing work, come back and distribute those books. And if you take a few years down the line, his disciples, today was a great example of Kripanan who showed us 50 years of United Kingdom teaching and the mission. So much they went through. I remember Jananand Maharaj when he was at the Manor, I think it was last year at a festival, and he was saying at the time when they were all living at Bhaktivedanta Manor, the only sense gratification they had when during the Aarti time, the Pujari would bring the Aarti thing to people to take the Aarti on. That was the only warmth they experienced throughout the day. That was the only time that Jananand Maharaj was saying was a sense gratification for them. Because they used to sleep when it was cold, they would get up when it was cold, and they would get out and spread Krishna consciousness. Now we have everything in our hand, we have these books printed. So I'm sure, my point is that each one of us did a little bit, then I'm sure we can help change the society through Srimad Bhagavatam. So what I request, I have some devotees here who are very kindly going to hand out some beautiful pledge cards to you. Should we have a copy, please? So on this pledge card, all we request you, there is a beautiful verse of the Bhadra from Bhagavatam, which we just read. And on the back side it says that my Bhadra campaign pledge for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada is to distribute dash number of sets. So on that, we request you to at least, if you can put down one set that you would like, we are not even saying that you have to do it, so you can try to distribute to someone. And then you can write down your contact details and the name of your temple or community you're from, and we will pass it on to that particular community or the town you're from, and then they will help you fulfill this pledge. And now I want to show you a beautiful, I think you're okay for time, so I just want to show you, Prabhu, can you please put that presentation, PDF document, it's just coming up. So, yeah, so you have this pledge, there are pencils which are being passed around. Can we pass these pledge cards, Prabhu? So we'll give you a pencil, and you can, one is the minimum, but if you feel inspired, you can put down more sets. And when you come here, you can put this pledge card in this golden box here. And I've requested His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, in October, he's going to travel to Vrindavan in Kartik. And he will be doing a yajna in Govardhan, and he will be going to Radhakund, Shamkund, and this time also going to the original deities in Jaipur, Radha Gopinath, Radha Govindji. And there we will collect all these names, and His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu will offer these names to the deities and pray for pure devotional service so that we can all go back to Godhead. So you can come and just, yes, very good. So you can come and put your card here, and I will start from my pledge that I like to pledge at least, I like to help distribute 20 Srimad Bhagavatam sets in the next 5 years. And then you can do as per whatever you feel your capacity is, and then we will collect these names and send them out with His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. We'll email him, and he will offer them to the Lordships. And here it is. We have developed, well, no, we haven't developed. ISKCON Juhu BBD developed this beautiful presentation on how to present Srimad Bhagavatam to someone. So there is a page in it for each canto, which talks about what's in the first canto. There's a little bit about author and the purpose. Gives you a description of the first canto, second canto, third canto, beautiful pictures. And this is available. We will send you the soft copy to, say for example, Bhakti Vriksha, or we will ISKCON London, Soho, ISKCON Manchester. And you can edit this to add your local details, payment information, and use that for the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So you'll have these beautiful presentation which we have it available, and we can offer and give it to you. If you need a hard copy just for your community, please come and see us at the table, and we can give you just so you can see the hard copy as well. These are the languages. We have made sure that they are available with us. We have ordered them. We already have some stock, but we have ordered more Bhagavatams which are coming. And in this beautiful description of the glories of Bhagavatam invention, and yeah, this is the information. So here you can put your local information and the payment links, etc. So we have a gift for everyone. Whether you pledge or not, the gift is for everyone. Because we want this to be inspirational led. There is no force, because we want to do something for Prabhupada. Prabhupada said in the preface to the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that this Srimad Bhagavatam will bring about revolution in the world's misdirected civilization. So this is a great opportunity. I just want to end on a story. Last year we were in Slough. I was out there for some work, and I was knocking some doors and distributing some books. And I try and carry 1 or 2 Bhagavatam sets with me, at least in the car, wherever I can. So I knocked on a door, and this gentleman opened the door. Actually, it was 2 years ago, not last year. And he opened the door and he greeted me nicely, and he said, "Hare Krishna, come in." So he was from Sri Sampradaya. And he said that I was trying to present him Bhagavad Gita and other books which he already had. And he said, I asked him that, what are you reading? Which chapter of Bhagavad Gita? He said, actually, I'm not reading Bhagavad Gita. I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And I was so happy, and I said, do you have a book? He said, I don't have a book, I'm reading online, and I've been thinking to get the book. So I'm planning to go to the temple in the next few days, and I'll try and get the set. I said, believe it or not, I have a set in the car. He said, bring it in. So immediately on the spot, he took the set of Bhagavatam. And now he comes regularly at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, has become a patron, and really, really wonderful person actually. So I just wanted to share a story that Bhagavatam distribution does work. We may think that, okay, for a new person, we don't know actually, somebody may read a Bhagavatam and come to KC, or somebody may read an SSR or come to Krishna consciousness. So that really is not so much matter, but what matters is that we're giving an opportunity for people to come to Krishna consciousness. The other thing I like, which Vaisheshika Prabhu mentions, is that when you take a set of Bhagavatam and place it in your house, you're really making a statement for yourself. You know, you may take a book, okay, you may leave it on the shelf, but when you have the 18 books there, and you've invested in it like 200 pounds of your hard-earned Lakshmi, surely you want to try and pick it up. And we have a whole follow-up program behind Bhagavatam. So please see us on the table. We'll share all the details. There is a devotee in Banner called Nilanath Gauranga Prabhu and Mohini Radha Mataji, who are actually mentees of Kripamoya Prabhu, and they took blessings from Kripamoya Prabhu to do this program. And every year we have been calling these people who have taken the Bhagavatam set. We try to connect them from School of Bhakti and various other programs we are doing at the temple. And we are collecting testimonies and videos that how people are inspired when we call them. They had not known anything about Krishna consciousness, and some of them are on 8th canto, 6th canto, 5th canto, and we are trying to now connect them with the Sanghas over a period of time. We did a gratitude event last year at the Manor, where we invited all the people who took Bhagavatam from us in the last 3 years. So we can share all those details, so there is an opportunity for us to also follow up with those who are taking Bhagavatam. So on that note, I want to thank everybody. So please fill in your pledge card. I need a pencil to fill in mine. And then as you come, Shivira Prabhu, have you handed the brands? So please fill in and you can just put it. There we go, Prabhu. Give him a hand. So please collect. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In a minute, I got to pass these out. Is there 2 sizes or one?
Yes, yeah, there's. I've got a kids one.
Kids and ladies too.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu ki